not D major 7. Everything in D is in D major 7. That's not true, but.
Hello?
I hear you.
All right.
Oh God, make me a hollow ring from which the pith of sound has been blown, so that I may be a clean channel through which thy love others may know. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. I'm giving up impatience. I'm giving up discouragement. I will not chafe at my God. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Yeah, I'm just skipping the ending because if we do this twice. Oh God, here we go to the A. Make me a hollow reed. Do that also on it, and I'll thankfully live now. Oh, there's another one.
I think we're on.
Huh?
I think we're on.
Oh, is we on? Well, we're not on Facebook. Good morning, all. Hang on, let me turn on our Facebook stream. Let me get Blessed is the Spot ready, because that's going to be our first song. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone in our Zoom stream and everyone in our Facebook stream. Aloha. I hope your Sunday is going beautifully and wonderfully. And we have someone new in our program today. I don't know, maybe you recognize him. This is Daryl. No, because of difficulties Daryl's family has been having. He hasn't been here for a while, but I'm just giving him a hard time because I miss him. So glad you could be here, Daryl.
I missed all of you as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Nini is not with us today. She's having a few issues. Her family is having some issues, but she's hopefully she's on. I don't know if she's on our. This meeting is being recorded for anyone who's. That was the CIA letting us know that we are under surveillance. No, but we're glad to see all of you this morning. And I think we'll go ahead and just start with. Well, you know what? I haven't said really good morning to everyone that's in our Zoom stream. So hi, Cam Bees, and hi, Taranae. We've got the view up, so I really can't see everybody. I see Gilbert's name. Hello, Gilbert, and hello, Farah. And let's see. Okay.
There we go.
And get that box out of the middle there too. Good morning, Hushang, and yes, and this gentleman whose name is in small print and I can't see, but with the baseball cap on in your picture. How you doing this morning? And Shala is here. Shala, do you know Shala?
Oh yeah.
Do I know Shala?
Yes, you do.
I do. Okay, I'll assume. Hi, Shala. How you doing? Okay. Blessed is the spot and the house and the place and the refuge and the cave and the valley and the land and the sea and the island and the meadow where mention of God have been made, and His praise where mention of God hath been made, and His praise glorified. Again, good morning, everyone. I see we got a couple of folks in our Facebook stream now. If Nina were here, she could tell us they're giving us little notes. I'm going to take a second now. I never do this, almost never. Oh, that's my sister. Hey, Amazing, how you doing? She says, good morning, Tony and Daryl. Thank you for the service. Happy Father's Day. Oh, wow, I forgot it was Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day, Daryl. And all the fathers out there, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Thanks, Amazing. Amazing ranks as we're all crazy. She, I think, gets the prize. She's so funny. We're so glad that you could join us. She's in Maryland. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Good morning, Amazing.
Yeah. She's her husband, Brian. Brian is not a brother by blood. Of course, he's a brother-in-law, but trust me, if you met him, you'd know he belongs. He qualifies too. But folks, today, as you know, if you've been joining us, what we're doing is we are working, we're using the book for our content, using the book of Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality, Baha'u'llah's teachings on spiritual reality. And today we are looking at chapter 9, sanctity and holiness, sanctity and holiness. And we're going to be taking a couple of moments out here and there to define some words, as I like to do, even though I'm not questioning the your knowledge or your wisdom, but it's just some words that we use, as I was saying to you earlier. There are some words that we use, maybe not every day, but frequently, and we have our intended meaning, and yet when we're dealing with weightier material, I think that sometimes we need to know what exactly does that word, that simple word, mean. So today is going to be one of those days we're going to be making some stops and and defining some words that really, in general usage are pretty common and pretty simple. But let's start with a prayer. Oh God, refresh and gladden my spirit, purify my heart, illumine my powers. I lay all my affairs in thy hand, thou art my guide and my refuge. I will no longer be sorrowful and grieved, I will be a happy and joyful being. O God, I will no longer be full of anxiety, nor will I let trouble harass me. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things of life. O God, thou art more friend to me than I am to myself. I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord. And this is a prayer by Abdul Baha. Okay, now, usually I have my little sign that I can hold up, and we can hold up, and we tell people if you're interested in the faith and want to know more about it, there are some definitive websites. The main reason I'm bringing it up right now is because I forgot to bring my sign.
Okay.
Okay, but if you are interested in more information from the faith regarding the Baha'i faith, there are some, again, authoritative websites that you can go to. There's a local website, and what is that website, Daryl?
www.clearwaterbaha'is.org.
Yes, and there's a lot of material and talks and so forth there, and we want to thank the people of the Clearwater community. This is a multiple community effort, but we're using, I mean, the people of the Clearwater community are so kind to let us use their stream and wake up early in the morning and help us with the Zoom stream and so forth. And the other two authoritative websites, what are they again, Daryl?
www.baha'i.us and www.baha'i.org.
Yes. So again, if you'd like more information regarding the Baha'i faith, as far as what are the basic tenets, the precepts, the beliefs of the Baha'i faith, I think it's safe to say one of the things you'll find is that we believe that all of the world's religions, as far as the global religions, or those the well-known. I always struggle with this because it doesn't include everything that people call a religion, but the well-known faiths and so forth are actually parts of one religion, which is belief in God. And so anyway, I'm getting ready to get off track. I need a script, so I'll stay on script. But
Okay.
today, again, we're talking about sanctity and holiness. And that word sanctity is one of those words I have no doubt everybody knows what it means. But I looked it up, and it means sacred, saintly. And that's going to become a little more important later on, but sacred and saintly. So Daryl, and we've got some readings from certainly from Baha'u'llah and Abdul Baha, and also Shoghi Effendi. And some of the earlier readings might make you feel, I don't know, Daryl, but I got to tell you, when I was reading some of these earlier readings, it made me feel like I should turn in my Baha'i card today. I should just take it out of my wallet, put it aside. But then there's something later on that let me know, no, you are not expected to be as perfect as some of the earlier passages say. But anyway, you want to start for us? This first reading is from Baha'u'llah.
It's also a prayer.
Yes, it is.
It's create in me a pure heart, O my God, and renew a tranquil conscience within me, O my hope. Through the spirit of power, confirm thou me in thy cause, O my best beloved. And by the light of thy glory, reveal unto me thy path, O thou the goal of my desire. Through the power of thy transcendent might, lift me up into the heaven of thy holiness, O source of my being, and by the breezes of thine eternity gladden me, O thou who art my God. Let the everlasting melodies breathe tranquility on me, O my companion, and let the riches of thine ancient countenance deliver me from all except thee, O my master, and let the tidings of the revelation of thine incorruptible essence bring me joy, O thou who art most manifest of the manifest, and the most hidden of the hidden. Now that's a prayer. This next one is from the hidden words of Baha'u'llah. O Son of Spirit, my first counsel is this: possess a pure, kindly, and radiant heart, that thine may be a sovereignty, ancient, imperishable, and everlasting.
Ancient, imperishable, and everlasting.
With the hands of loving kindness, I have planted in the holy garden of paradise the young tree of your love and friendship, and have watered it with the goodly showers of my tender grace. Now that the hour of its fruiting is come, strive that it may be protected and be not consumed with the flame of desire and passion.
Okay, Daryl, I'm going to stop you right there. I love the fact that Baha'u'llah is you. This is coming from Baha'u'llah, and it's one of the Persian hidden words. One thing we've mentioned the hidden words before, and the hidden words is a series, is a copy. It's a book.
It's a compilation.
Yeah, a compilation of very short passages, beautifully written, poetic, revealed by Baha'u'llah, and one part is written in Arabic, and the other part is written in Persian. We of course have the English translation. But this is from the Persian hidden words, and I just love this beautiful series. It's a series of metaphors, but I guess it's mainly planted in the holy garden of paradise, the young tree of your love and friendship, watered it with grace. He says, the goodly showers of my tender grace. Now that the hour of its fruiting is come. This is when we're supposed to be bearing fruit. Bearing fruit. He tells us to protect it. Strive that it may be protected. Be not consumed with the flame of desire and passion. Remember, what we're talking about is sanctity and holiness. And so he tells us to protect this fruit. I think this sanctity and holiness through the grace that has been given us, and don't allow it to be consumed. Don't allow ourselves to be consumed with the flame of desire and passion. Okay. That was one of those things that grabbed me, and I felt maybe we need to talk about that just a little bit. You won't go ahead?
I will go ahead. To be pure and holy in all things is an attribute of the consecrated soul and a necessary characteristic of the unenslaved mind.
Stop.
To be pure and holy in all things is an attribute of the consecrated soul and a necessary characteristic of the unenslaved mind.
No, I didn't have a problem with unenslaved, but I had a problem with consecrated. Heard it a million times.
Sure.
Kind of knew what it meant, but I felt I had to look it up. And I'm glad I did, because it says, and you can tell how old I am when I say I looked it up. Nobody looks up anything anymore. They Google it. I Googled it. But consecrated means dedicated to a higher purpose. And that purpose in this case being God. Dedicated to a higher purpose. To be pure and holy in all things is an attribute of the soul that is dedicated to God, and a necessary characteristic of the unenslaved mind. And I think we can say that the enslaved mind, we already mentioned the flame of desire and passion. That's what, the mind can be enslaved to. Okay, I'm going to stop you again in just a second. But
I know you are. I see what's coming.
Okay.
Okay. The best of perfections is immaculacy and the freeing of oneself from every defect.
Okay, there you go. Immaculacy. Now we all know the word immaculate.
Right.
Very clean, perfect, pure, immaculate. This place is immaculate. But what does it mean when it comes to spiritual immaculacy? Had to look that up too. Moral purity. Moral purity. And it was right about this point that I started thinking, let me grab my wallet and take the card out. Sometimes I struggle with moral purity. Okay, the best of perfections is immaculacy and the freeing of oneself from every defect. There's another thing. Every defect? Really? Well, it doesn't say this is what we are, but it says the best of perfections is.
Right.
Okay.
Once the individual is, in every respect, cleansed and purified, then will he become a focal center reflecting the manifest light. First in a human being's way of life must be purity, then freshness, cleanliness, and independence of spirit. First must be the stream bed to be First must the stream bed be cleansed. Then may the sweet river waters be let into it. I'm going to read that again because I messed it up a lot. First in a human being's way of life must be purity, then freshness, cleanliness, and independence of spirit. First must the stream bed be cleansed, then may the sweet river waters be led into it. Chaste eyes enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord and know what this encounter meaneth. A pure sense inhaleth the fragrances that blow from the rose gardens of his grace. A burnished heart will mirror forth the comely face of truth.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
You can stop me, but I have to say that one of the things that is characteristic of so many of the Baha'i writings is just how beautiful they are.
Mhm.
And this is one of those segments of the writings that is just very beautiful to me.
Yeah, it is. It is. And this is coming from Baha'u'llah as well. No, I'm sorry. This is coming from Abdul Baha, actually, Abdul Baha, the son of Baha'u'llah. But, you know, there's that whole thing about independence of spirit. I have a problem with the word independence. I shouldn't say I have a problem with it. But often what we as human beings think of as independence, probably not exactly what this word means. Independence of spirit, independent of what? Well, I think we kind of could see, first of all, we're told, Abdul Baha says to be pure and holy in all things is an attribute of the consecrated soul, necessary characteristic of the unenslaved mind.
Right.
So if we're unenslaved, we have an independent spirit. And of course, before that, Baha'u'llah says, not consumed with the flame of desire and passion. So I look at all those things and kind of put them together and hope that I'm on the right track. Again, we're not ministers, so we're all just trying to figure this out. But then he goes on with this metaphor to say, first must the stream bed be cleansed, then may the sweet river waters be led unto it. Chaste eyes, wait a minute, did you stop there at led unto it? Or did
No.
you? Okay, yeah. Chaste eyes enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord. I had to look up beatific.
Okay.
And it wasn't because I use that word every day, it's because I didn't know what that meant. But I saw beatific and I thought about, okay, the Beatitudes from Jesus, you know, in the Bible. And anyone who doesn't know, you probably do know, but there's this, I don't remember which chapter and verse, or even which book, but there's the Beatitudes where he says, blessed are the, fill in the blank, for they, you know, like, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth, and so
Blessed
forth.
are the pure at heart.
Yeah, for they shall see God. Yeah.
Those are the Beatitudes.
Okay, right. And this says, chaste eyes enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord. But I was wondering, what is beatific? Well, guess what it means? Blissfully happy.
Okay.
Blissfully happy. Chaste eyes enjoy the blissfully happy vision of the Lord. And again, I'm going to keep coming back. We're talking about sanctity and holiness, so you can understand how chasteness or chastity fits in there. Chaste eyes enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord and know what this encounter meaneth. You enjoy the beatific vision of the Lord and you understand it. You understand it. And then later on, it says a burnished heart. Now, you had to tell me what burnished meant a long time ago, because I wasn't sure that was another one of those. Those were just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said burnished. It's polished. When something is polished, yeah. Okay. Righty. You can go ahead.
Okay. This is why in Holy Scriptures, the counsels of heaven are likened to water, even as the Quran saith, and pure water send we down from heaven. And the gospel, except a man be baptized of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. Thus, it is clear that the teachings which come from God are heavenly outpourings of grace. They are rain showers of divine mercy, and they cleanse the human heart. Meaning, my meaning is this, that in every aspect of life, purity and holiness, cleanliness and refinement exalt the human condition and further the development of man's inner reality. Even in the physical realm, cleanliness will conduce to spirituality.
That was another one. I mean, I've said conducive. I've used that word many times, but conduce to, I'll admit I had to think about that. But I didn't think about what he's saying here. Even in the physical realm, cleanliness will conduce to spirituality, meaning help to bring about spirituality. So it's kind of strange if someone wants to be more spiritual, that one of the things that I might say, you know, you can work on yourself some.
Right.
You know,
Always.
cleanliness. Yeah, and you know, it sounds kind of matter of fact, and yet when we see people who, whether they are succeeding or not, but when they really are sincerely trying to lead a chaste life, I think, you know, usually they also work on themselves to some extent as far as just basic hygiene and things, to the extent that they can. We all know that, you know, there are people that have struggles and so forth in that regard. But yeah, even in the physical realm, cleanliness will conduce to spirituality. So when we look at that in the physical realm and then use that, let's say, as kind of I'll say a reverse metaphor for the spiritual realm, we can work on cleaning ourselves spiritually as well.
Absolutely. I think these are all goals that we must strive to accomplish.
Yes.
And
yes.
And something, and it gives us the
That was the guitar's amen.
okay, it gives us the way to get there. The means.
Yes. This next song is called "Make Me a Hollow Reed," and in Baha'i circles, there's some disagreement on where this comes from. Some say it came from Rumi. Okay, and some say it came from a prayer by Abdul Baha. I'm not sure. I guess we should just do the song.
Yeah, let's just do this.
Oh God, make me a hollow reed from which the pith of self hath been blown, so that I may be a clean channel through which thy love to others may flow. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. I've given up on patience. I've given up discontent. I will not chafe at my lot. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, I am wholly thine. You are my teacher, my physician, and my guide. In your army, I'm a soldier. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. You train me and change me, give me strength, faith, and understanding. You make sure my burden is no more than I can bear. I know that you're holding a place for me in your army of night. And now thankfully live now to be fully prepared to serve you. Oh God, make me a hollow reed from which the pit of self hath been blown, so that I may be a clean channel through which thy love to others may flow. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Oh God, make me a hollow reed. Make me a hollow reed. I think that's kind of what we're talking about today. Trying to become that hollow reed through which, you know, the more attributes of sanctity and holiness can come through us from God. Okay. This next, again, what we've read so far is, you know, it might make you feel that, you know, who can get to that point? You know, these are pretty lofty attributes. And
True.
today when I got out of bed, I was walking around the corner. I should point out that our bed has wooden legs on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was half asleep, got out of bed, was walking around the bed, stubbed my toe on one of the legs. What came out?
I don't want to know.
Oh yeah. Not really not really exemplary of sanctity and holiness. But here's something from Shoghi Effendi, a couple of things from Shoghi Effendi and also Baha'u'llah. Yeah, these goals are lofty and we should be striving for them. But these next few passages kind of let us know that, you know, it's more of a journey and not just thinking about the destination.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to read it or?
Sure.
Okay.
They should not look at the depraved condition of the society in which they live, nor at the evidences of moral degradation and frivolous conduct which the people around them display. They should not content themselves merely with relative distinction and excellence. Rather, they should fix their gaze upon nobler heights by setting the counsels and the exhortations of the pen of glory as their supreme goal. Then it will be readily realized how numerous are the stages that still remain to be traversed and how far off the desired goal lies, a goal which is none other than exemplifying heavenly morals and virtues.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
in the words of the civil rights leadership, keep your eyes on the prize.
keep your eyes.
and
and this really, when I was reading this passage, it was like, well, okay, am I there? No, not even close. Trying.
Yeah.
But as long as there are wooden legs on the bed, I might.
You risk stubbing your toe.
Yes. And it's just that This is a goal. This sanctity and holiness is a goal that we should always be striving for. And I like the point that I like the fact that Shoghi Effendi points out, it will readily, let's see, should they fix their gaze, rather they should fix their gaze upon nobler heights by setting the counsels and exhortations. For anyone who wonders what that means, it's emphatic urgings, exhortations of the pen of glory, which is God, the pen of glory as their supreme goal. Then it will be readily realized how numerous are the stages that still remain to be traversed, and how far off the desired goal lies.
For sure.
It's a long way off. And yet, like you said, keep your eye on the prize, keep going. Okay. This next passage comes from Baha'u'llah. And Baha'u'llah, actually, he's pointing out who his true follower is. I'm running my mouth too much, Daryl. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
You want me to read it?
Yes, sure.
Okay. Baha'u'llah says, he is my true follower. He is my true follower, who, if he come to a valley of pure gold, will pass straight through it, aloof as a child.
As a cloud.
I'm sorry, as a cloud. Thank you. Let me take my glasses off so I can see. He is my true follower, who, if he come to a valley of pure gold, will pass straight through it, aloof as a cloud, and will neither turn back nor pause. Such a man is assuredly of me. From his garment, the concourse on high can inhale the fragrance of sanctity. Now, I'm not sure we've ever used that term, concourse on high, since we've been looking, and maybe we have, but what is the concourse on high? I know you know. I'm not setting you up to not be able to answer a question. So, concourse on high.
You explain.
Okay. I always think of it as those souls, those holy souls that have gone on are in the spiritual realm. That's my interpretation of it.
Okay.
Is that good enough?
That's good enough.
But those souls in the spiritual realm, the concourse on high, and those of you in Zoom, when we open things up for discussion and prayer, anyone who would like to give us more input on the concourse on high, because that's something, admittedly, I just have this instinctive view of what I think it is.
Well,
I should have looked it up. Yeah.
I think you're really close.
Okay. From his garment, the concourse on high can inhale the fragrance of sanctity. From his garment, meaning that person that's striving to be a true follower of Baha'u'llah. From his garment, the concourse on high can inhale the fragrance of sanctity. And if he met the fairest and most comely of women, he would not feel his heart seduced by the least shadow of desire for her beauty. Such an one, indeed, is the creation of spotless chastity. I don't know, you're already there, aren't you, Daryl?
Not even close.
I picked up a nickel in the parking lot the other day. So not a whole bunch of gold. I saw a nickel and said, oh, well, let me. But yeah, if you come to a valley of pure gold, we'll pass straight through it, aloof as a cloud. And of course, this is meant to make a point. It's meant to make a point. And if he met the fairest and most comely of women, he would not feel his heart seduced by the least shadow of desire for her beauty. Such an one, indeed, is the creation of spotless chastity. And I think, again, this is to make a point. This is what spotless chastity, this is an example of it. But then Shoghi Effendi kind of brings us all back down to earth, because some people, I'm sure, think I'm there or they're there. I've got it. I'm done. But Shoghi Effendi points out, and when I was reading this passage, I kind of think it as this is for the self-proclaimed judges of the world who want to point out. Shoghi Effendi says, it must be remembered, however, that the maintenance of such a high standard of moral conduct is not to be associated or confused with any form of asceticism or of excessive and bigoted Puritanism.
No, I'm sure you looked up the word asceticism.
Didn't look it up at all. Yeah, I did look it up, because that's one of those words again. And asceticism, get this is important, severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence particularly for religious reasons. Severe self-discipline and avoidance of all forms of indulgence, particularly for religious reasons. And yes, I did look up bigoted Puritanism. I mean, and I didn't look them up together, but I looked up bigoted, which I already knew, but still wanted to get a very concise definition. And Puritanism. Okay, what is bigoted? Unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction. In particular, prejudiced against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular group. So that's one reason we should, I mean, this explains, this is, if you think someone is bigoted, that's what you're saying about them. They are unreasonably attached to a belief, opinion, or faction. They're in some group themselves and they're unreasonably attached to it. In particular, prejudiced against a person, people on or people on the basis of their membership of a particular group. But what is Puritanism? Censorious moral beliefs, especially about self-indulgence and sex. You're going around censoring everyone. You have, proclaimed yourself the judge and jury, and you can point people out and tell them what's wrong with them. And I'm not going to pretend I haven't been guilty. Maybe not to people's face, but we can point out maybe well-known celebrities and political figures and so forth. But yeah, it must be remembered, however, that the maintenance of such a high standard of moral conduct is not to be associated or confused with any form of asceticism or of excessive and bigoted Puritanism. The standard inculcated by Baha'u'llah seeks under no circumstances to deny anyone the legitimate right and privilege. Notice the word legitimate. I love Shoghi Effendi for that reason. He says it the standard inculcated by Baha'u'llah seeks under no circumstances to deny anyone the legitimate right and privilege to derive the fullest advantage and benefit from the manifold joys, beauties, and pleasures with which the world has been so plentifully enriched by an all-loving creator. We are still supposed to be able to enjoy this life.
Absolutely.
And there are plenty of ways to do that while still, striving to lead, to be
Pure life.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean you can't have joy in your life. And then in the next passage, which is our final passage, I was going to say Baha'u'llah, you want to read it? Daryl, you want to pick that up?
Sure.
This is coming from Baha'u'llah.
Through the power of the words he hath uttered, the whole of the human race can be illumined with the light of unity. Through the power of the words he hath uttered, the whole of the human race can be illumined with the light of unity. And the remembrance of his name is able to set on fire the hearts of all men and burn away the veils that intervene between them and his glory. One righteous act is endowed with a potency that can so elevate the dust as to cause it to pass beyond the heaven of heavens. It can tear every bond asunder and hath power to restore the force that hath spent itself and vanished. Be pure, O people of God. Be pure. Be righteous. Be righteous. Say, O people of God, that which can ensure the victory of him who is the eternal truth. His host and helpers on earth have been set down in the sacred books and scriptures and are as clear and manifest as the sun. These hosts are such righteous deeds, such conduct and character as are acceptable in his sight. Whoso ariseth in this day to aid our cause and summoneth to his assistance the host of a praiseworthy character and upright conduct, the influence flowing from such an action will most certainly be diffused throughout the whole world.
You know what I take from that passage? And we've said this before, you know, and in this case, we can apply it to trying to live, live saintly and holy life. It's not just about you.
No.
Your actions, the things we do when we're trying to live within the precepts of the writings of the Baha'u'llah, or all, you know, within the Word of God, the things we do affect others. They affect the world. And so this is another reason. It's not just about getting into heaven, as so many, you know, people might think. It's not it. It's not the reason. I'm not going to say that's not a good reason if that's what drives us. But it's not just about us.
Right.
It's about improving the state of mankind on earth. And it says those things that we do have an effect on others. Be pure, O people of God, be pure. Be righteous, be righteous. That which can ensure the victory of him who is the eternal truth, his hosts and helpers on earth, have been set down in the sacred books and scriptures and are as clear and manifest as the sun. These hosts are such righteous deeds, such conduct and character as are acceptable in his sight. Whoso arises then this day to aid our cause and summoneth to his assistance the host of a praiseworthy character and upright conduct, the influence flowing from such an action will most certainly be diffused throughout the world. So when we try and use the Word of God, in our case, the Word of Baha'u'llah, as a guide, what's going on there? As a guide. Again, it's not just about us.
Right.
It's to have a positive influence on others. I was going to do another song, but it's a little past 1:45, so maybe we should go ahead and at this time we're going to allow anyone else who wants to share a prayer or a reading or thought, starting out with
Or song.